Alright, I want to talk about section 1.15 now. This one's called Unknown Dimensions Using Formulas. And this time we're going to be going backwards from the direction that we went last time. So it's going to be kind of different than we've used before. Before let's go on, let's quickly remember the formulas that we had before. We have the perimeter of a rectangle, and we have the perimeter of a square. The perimeter of a rectangle, we remember that we've discovered, is 2L plus 2W. The perimeter of a square is 4S, because it's equal in this case. All the sides on a square, I mean. We also have the area of a rectangle and the area of a square. Remember, the area of a rectangle is L times W, and the area of a square is simply side times side, or side squared. That way we can recall this way. Okay, this time we're going to give you an equation, or we've been looking at these equations, and we're going to give you some information, and you're going to work backwards. So for example, we're going to look at a rectangle. And for this rectangle, the width is equal to 10 feet, and the perimeter is equal to 50 feet. What is the length? Alright, so for this, we need to look backwards at what we were doing before. So let's look at our rectangle and our perimeter formula. We're going to write down the perimeter of a rectangle is equal to 2L plus 2W. Okay, now I'm going to substitute in the things that I know. I know my perimeter of my rectangle, in this case, is 50 feet, equals 2 times L. I don't know my L, so I write 2 times L plus 2 times W. I do know my 2 times my W. It's 2 times 10 feet. Okay, then I'm going to simplify because I do have an operation that I need to do. So I can rewrite this as 50 feet equals 2 times L plus 20 feet, because I just did 2 times 10 feet. So now the question is, what is L? Okay, so I need to figure out an L that would make this side equal to this side, because remember, there's kind of like a little scale going on here. And we have like this whole side, and right now the scale is balanced, and we need it to stay balanced in order for it to continue working. So I can try doing a little bit of guessing and testing. Okay, let's see. If I put in 10 for L, 10 times 2 is 20. I would have 20 plus 20, and that's not 50. Okay, so it needs to be a little bit more than 10. What if I put in 15 for L? 15 times 2 is 30. 30 times 20 is 50. Oh, I think I've found it. In this case, L is equal to 15 feet. And I can check my answer by substituting it in. Let's see. 50 feet equals 2 times 15 feet plus 20 feet. 2 times 15 is 30 feet. 30 feet plus 20 feet. 30 and 20 is 50. 50 feet equals 50 feet, so I'm good to go. My L is 15 feet. Let's take a look at another one. This time let's look at the area of a square. We find that a square, and they tell us the area is equal to 144 square inches. What does a side equal? Okay, so now we need to go backwards again. We'll take our area of a square. Area of a square is S squared. And let's fill in the things that we know. Okay, I know the area this time, so I know my answer is 144 inches squared is equal to S squared. Now, I have to ask myself, using some guessing and testing, what times itself is equal to 144? Now, you might remember this from a long time ago when we were doing our number charts all the way up to 12. But I can start doing some guessing and testing. Let's try. I know 10. 10 times 10 is 100. And 100 isn't 144, so I need to go higher. So let's try 11 times 11, because that is higher than 10, right? So I can just go up from there. Let's see. 11 times 11 is 121. Okay, not high enough. Let's keep going. 12 times 12. Oops. 12 times 12 is 144. That's what I'm looking for. In this case, S is equal to 12. But I also have my square inches. So this is actually 12 inches in order to get it. And I can check it out. I can put is 144 inches squared equal to, I'm out of space, equal to 12 inches squared? Yes, it is, because I just tested that. Okay, that's kind of what we're going to be doing. I'm going to do a couple more using the things that we didn't do, but if you feel like you get it, go ahead and go on. Example 1, this time we're going to look at the rectangle, the area of a rectangle, and we're going to have is 60 inches, and the width is equal to 10 inches, and our length is unknown. So again, this time we're going to need to take our rectangle area. Area of a rectangle is length times width. Oops, I wrote it backwards. Area of a rectangle equals length times width. Oops. I know I have 60 inches. Oops, that should have been squared. Sorry. Equals L times 10 inches. Okay, now I need to ask myself, what times 10 is 60? Well, I can try doing a couple things. What about, well, that feels like it should be around 6, I would guess. 6 times 10 is 60. So, there we go. I've got my answer already. L equals 6 inches. And I can substitute this back in to test it. 60 inches squared equals 6 inches times 10 inches. 6 times 10 is 60 inches squared. And 60 inches squared does work out in this case. So my length is 6 inches. Last one, let's look at example 2, and this time we'll have a square. The area of a square is going to be, let's say we have 80 miles. Pretty big square. What does the side equal? Okay, so I need to look at my, I meant to do perimeter, sorry. Perimeter of the square is 80 miles. Because we haven't done perimeter yet. Okay, the perimeter of a square formula, the perimeter of a square is equal to 4s. So I'm going to put in the parts that I know. My perimeter of a square is equal to 80 miles equals 4s. Okay, so I need to then ask myself, what times 4 is equal to 80? Or I can say, I can even divide 80 by 4 maybe to see what I get. 80, and what times 4 is 80 is 20 miles equals s. And I can substitute that back into check. Equals 80 miles. I'm good to go. All right. Good luck. And if you have any questions, ask a friend, ask an adult, or ask me.